good. Wait.
Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that Street Geek and Nerd Soul. What is up, my people? Today, coming with another wonderful episode of Doppio Dope, man. It's not just myself. It's a cool brother right over here. You know him, all right, as the captain on Chicago PD. You may also know him from the West Wing. You may also know him from 227 Clement Bryant.
Again, lying to the people is gonna get me in trouble. Like,
yeah, man,
don't lie to the people.
I can only tell them the truth.
But,
man. I can only tell them the truth.
I mean, Chicago PD. People are gonna be like, defund the police. I'm like, I don't control that.
It's like, I ain't do it.
I didn't do it. But nah, yeah, man. I think we jumped on, and please, people, don't take that joke the wrong way. I'm just spouting jokes because he called me the leader of the Chicago PD. But anyways, yeah, the big news, man. We finally got. NERDSoul light up in there.
We got. Don't worry, we got an extra host up in here. No, don't mind him.
What's he doing? No, the big news is I know we had to jump on because we finally have the Miss Marvel. We have a confirmed Miss Marvel, which is interesting. It's newcomer? Like that came. This casting came a complete newcomer. Like, I thought they were gonna go with.
Well, I mean, she probably been on something, but we just.
No, I mean, she probably, but like and I was like, for them to, and I kind of had the vibe from the beginning that, first of all, her name is Iman Vellani. Like I always thought that the show should be a newcomer, should be someone who's completely undiscovered, because that vibe of what Kamala Khan has in the comics, it's like she's so excited to join the Avengers. She's a huge Marvel fan, or not a Marvel fan, she's a huge Avengers fan. And that's what it is. So you need someone to come in with that same energy to the MCU for Miss Marvel. And it kind of makes sense that they went with a complete newcomer versus someone who's a little bit more, experienced. Coming in completely green is going to really do well for the show. So now, as far as
she has no extra history with her that's gonna mess anything up, or there's no like old tweets or something anybody got to worry about.
As long as she doesn't do anything crazy on social, then she should be fine.
Should be fine.
But we'll see what happens, but I'm happy for her. Like, I think this is really great. And also when it comes to supporting cast, we're probably going to have bigger name actors in the supporting roles for her parents. One role that I'm looking forward to how they're going to do is casting the character of Bruno from the comics, because Bruno goes on to be her love interest in the early first run of the comics when she's introduced. So who they cast as Nakia, who they cast as Zoe, who they cast as Bruno, I'm really looking hard at those roles, because now that we have the Miss Marvel character, it seems like they pretty much nailed that casting, because G. Willow Wilson came out and she's like, she's basically what we wanted for Kamala. So,
which is a good thing.
Which is a really good thing. So I think this is only where we have good stuff coming that we can expect from her. So I'm excited, man. This is going to be great.
The thing that helps a lot in this case is kind of going back to the point that you were making of her being new. That kind of helps give this idea of, like, I guess you could say paying it forward, giving someone a shot, where normally we kind of see the same names recycled for the same roles over and over again. And this invites an opportunity for us to have someone who isn't like in everything. They're in this and not to say that that's, a bad thing, but how Hollywood will do. Hollywood will be like, we got one of y'all and that's it.
And I mean, I think that was my case when I brought up Caleb McLaughlin last week. Maybe it was like almost a month ago. And it's not that I have anything against him. I think I'm a huge fan of him.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
cool.
he does really well. He does really well, but like that's a really good point because whenever they have casting, it's like, okay, someone's same old names, Caleb McLaughlin for this, so and so for this, so and so for this. Oh, white boy, okay, he can be Superman. It's kind of like the same old recycled thing. And so it's nice to see someone new actually get a shot at, because when you think of someone new coming into the MCU, she's coming into 10 plus years of established story. And you're coming in with, and because the also part of it is because Miss Marvel is so closely linked with Captain Marvel, she has to be able to hold her own against Brie Larson.
And now,
and
with me, I don't think that's going to be hard to do because I'm still not super sold on Brie Larson as an actress anyway. But I understand. I know. I'm just not sold on her as an actress, as much as everyone else. I don't think she's horrible, but I don't see why everybody's falling all over her. When she got casted, people were like, "Oh, she's won this and she's in that and blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And then I saw Captain Marvel, and I was like, "Oh, well, any number of people could have did this." Like she didn't to me bring anything. She to me didn't bring anything exceptional or crazy to the role where I was like, no one else can play this. But that doesn't mean that she sucks. I'm just not sold on her. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the fence, I guess you could say.
I'll play counterpoint.
Right, cool.
Now you got me as the bad guy. No,
bring it
I'll play counterpoint. Okay, so did you see Short Term 12?
Short Term 12? No, I haven't seen that.
Just watch Short Term 12. Number one.
Right, cool.
Did you see her in Scott Pilgrim?
Yes, I did.
Okay, Scott Pilgrim. So,
and I mean, I thought she was cool in Scott Pilgrim, but I was just like, I don't know. For instance,
I thought
Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. That seems like a great fit, a great match.
But
Chadwick Boseman
nearly didn't happen.
We already see now that Bruce Banner can get played by pretty much, in any person because dude's going to be green most of the time anyway. Not that I don't like Mark Ruffalo or I don't like Eric Bana or I don't like old boy that always be yelling at people.
Ed Norton.
But I mean, I feel like they haven't come on an actor with the Hulk that like, oh no, this is the guy. You know what I'm saying? Now I feel differently with Thor. I think Chris Hemsworth really does that. Same thing with Captain America. But then there's also roles like, we've seen with War Machine. We've seen even with Tony's, well, I guess Tony's ex-wife / girlfriend, whatever they were. Now Pepper, there was nothing really standing out, but at the same time, they never really gave her anything to do either. You know what I'm saying?
And also,
like in every movie, she has like 2 lines, and that's it.
And I think the big thing with Brie and Captain Marvel was that she had good chemistry with Sam Jackson. Because basically with the whole movie, she's in the whole movie. She's in that movie with Sam Jackson for a good portion of the movie, for like more than a good portion of the movie.
Their chemistry is good.
I think that was the first thing. I think the second thing was her chemistry with Lashana Lynch as Maria Rambeau, and then also with her and Jude Law and her and Ben Mendelsohn. That's why they did it. And also, I think Brie, a lot of people forget that Brie really didn't have time to create a voice for Carol the same way that everybody else did, because she came in back to back with Endgame and her solo movie, right? So
you're right.
Which is why when we get to Captain Marvel 2, if things stay the way that they do now that we have Nia DaCosta directing Captain Marvel 2, I think that's going to be a big change, because then you're going to start to see her go from, okay, we have to have Captain Marvel Endgame because of the Thanos thing and blah 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 blah, and she's a woman and we want to set up A-Force and all this other stuff, which I'm not against. But if I want to see Brie stay in the role. I know I'm in the minority with that, but I think if we see Nia take on the role, Nia's going to have a distinctive voice in the way that she's going to approach Captain Marvel. And the other part of it is now that we have Miss Marvel kind of cast, and she's going to have to play a role in that movie. It's somehow, because their names are the same, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, you're going to see Brie in a different position, meaning more of not just
as
learning
kind of
as Captain Marvel.
Sort of like the responsible, role model, I guess.
Exactly. Because the one thing that she didn't have is she's coming in the whole amnesia storyline in the first movie. She didn't really come into her own until like pretty much the last 20 minutes of that movie, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Endgame, and also what happened was with Endgame is she filmed Endgame first and then did the solo movie second. So it wasn't like how it actually came out. So she's having to create a character on the fly when she's basically when she's going in. So I think, and I know it sounds like I'm making excuses for a lot of it, but it's more of
it does provide context into
when you're thinking about
how she was portraying the character.
Right.
Because like I said, it wasn't that it was particularly bad. It was just like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like, I guess I didn't feel that thing where I'm like, nobody else can do this. But at the same time, I didn't think she killed it. I mean, I didn't think she like sucked at it either. This will provide a new angle to her character, which may ingratiate me more to her. Seeing her as a kind of like role model-ish kind of character, or maybe see her as kind of standoffish, and maybe they'll grow together or whatever, depending on how they play it. Because this is an adaptation, I don't ever guarantee exactly what we get in the comics. So we'll see how they play that out. But as far as Miss Marvel, I'm like, this is going to be fun. I just hope we get the same kind of excitement that we get, from the animated series versions that I've seen her in, because she always seems like so excited and happy and joyful, so like that kind of character.
And honestly, I don't think they will, because like I think Feige and the crew at Marvel Studios has a good vibe about who the characters are. And the good thing is that Feige is now the CCO, so basically Feige makes all of the decisions. It's not like where Feige used to be an associate producer on X-Men and Fantastic Four, where he didn't have a voice, right? It's more of now he's leading all of this stuff. So so they have they understand who the characters are at their core, and that's why they had the success that they have. So
all right, I see you.
So I think with this casting announcement and the fact that she's a newcomer and she's from Canada, it gives me excitement to see that they're going in a different direction. They're not just doing the same old thing. And personally, I think if you do the same old thing when it comes to entertainment and storytelling, eventually people are going to peter out, and they're hip to that. So we'll see how it goes. But also, the fact that they cast a black woman for Captain, or not cast, hired a black woman to direct Captain Marvel 2 says volumes. And the fact of, I mean, and honestly, we had a whole female fronted MCU with Black Widow, where you had Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh in Black Widow, but you also had Kate Shortland directing Black Widow. You have Chloe Zhao doing Eternals, right? Directing the Eternals movie. And now you have Nia DaCosta directing Captain Marvel 2, and then you also have Kat Cairo doing She-Hulk. And then the showrunner, I think, of Miss Marvel is also a woman. And I think she's of the descent that she needs to be for the character to be completely portrayed. So I think they're making all the right moves. It's just like, because of COVID, we haven't been able to see it play out yet.
Yeah, that's what sucks. Big shout out to the chat. We got Daryl Bolden that was in here super way early at the beginning. What up? And we got Open Mind in the chat as well. What's up? Yes, this is the girl with the stretchy powers. So yes, Miss Marvel is an Inhuman and ends up getting essentially Mr. Fantastic like stretchy powers. And depending on who's drawing her, will depend on how stretchy she can get.
I mean, and how
we've seen some artists draw her in like these crazy ways where her arms are everywhere, and then we've seen some more kind of basic stuff as well. So it kind of depends on who's drawing her, but just her attitude is what I think the MCU needs right now, especially to see how she might pair up with someone like Shuri or Peter, and how that might go. Because that might be kind of fun too to see how that plays out. I know the whole Peter thing is a little dodgy, but it's not impossible.
But you know what I thought of last week with the Kane the Conqueror casting for Jonathan Majors. Okay. What happens when they cast? Eventually, my hope is to see Reed Richards and Kamala share the screen. Can you think about what that would look like with their powers, them working together with their power set?
That would be cool.
Dope.
And if they man, I'm like, I'm just ready for like some straight fire to come. I know Marvel they had to wait, they had to push things back. They didn't listen to the NERDSoul marketing plan. That's cool. I understand, what I'm saying? That's your business. That's what I'm saying? That's your thing. I'm just saying, now we gotta wait. You know what I'm saying? Now we gotta, shouts out to the chat. The real Manos says she can stretch, grow, shrink, shape shift, and has super strength and a healing factor. I didn't know about the healing factor, so thanks for dropping that. I didn't know that.
She has a little bit of a healing factor. Super strength, I'm not quite sure about, but it looks like because she in the video game, in the Avengers video game, at the end of it, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't finished that game.
Yeah,
but
spoiler.
Okay, but at the end of the game, Kamala she's basically like the last Avenger that has to basically take out the villain. And that's basically what I could say about that because the game's only been out for a short while. But Kamala is like the last person to take out the villain. And you see her have to hold something up. So the super strength thing is, it goes and comes depending on, like you said, who writes it. But she's got a little bit of a healing factor. And I think one of the first outside Marvel Universe characters she meets in the comics is Wolverine. So so it gets that whole vibe. So I'm really excited about the future of just seeing hey, you have Kamala sharing the screen with Peter, but also maybe Miles, because there's so much talk of Miles coming in right now. And I think the guy who should play Marvel, who should play, there's only two names that I have that could play Miles. It's either Jarrell Jerome from When They See Us.
All right.
Because he's after Latinx. Okay. And I don't know if he's Afro Latinx or not, but Julian Bass. The guy that's the TikToker that's been doing really the really custom videos on TikTok.
That could work out real well.
But I don't know if he's Afro Latinx.
They both have a dope athleticism to them. So that'd
exactly.
be cool. And Real Mano says Kamala and Miles are good friends too. Before we switch gears real quick, big shout out to Open Mind in the chat. Said hopefully they do right by Black Panther and Black Panther 2. Because in the comics, in I believe the Reginald Hudlin run, they passed the mantle to Shuri.
Yeah.
Because I think that's when Doom attacks and then Black Panther has to leave.
Yeah.
Because he renders all the vibranium inert and then he has to leave. But that's a whole other thing. But
I know we haven't.
Shuri takes the mantle.
I know we haven't talked about it.
I wouldn't be mad at that. Because we already know her. The characters already know her. So it would be easy for her to kind of step into that place. Also, it would make sense for the royalty thing, the next baby,
it makes
or
sense.
whatever, the next kid. You know, however royalty works.
I mean, it's like
the next
I think
kid.
I know we haven't talked about Chadwick at all. For me, it's still a sore spot with me.
Yeah.
But I understand. My big thing is we can talk about which way they're going to go until they blow in the face. But if they do go the Shuri route, it comes down to what Letitia Wright wants to do. Because if Letitia Wright doesn't want to deal with the pressure of being Black Panther, that is going to be a very interesting conversation to have. And I'm not saying that she wouldn't want to, but we really have to think about her. And I'm not saying that she's not up for role, because I think she is, and I think she's a really capable actress. I love her approach to Shuri. But some actors take other roles because they don't want the pressure of having to step into the lead role, because when you're in a lead role, you have a lot to deal with. And that's when I think about, like, when Chadwick was going through cancer, he was going through cancer and filming, but also with all the press obligations that happened with him around Black Panther. He was working around the clock. So
good point.
If they do go that route, I'm for it, but I understand also why they'd go for recasting. And I'm not saying it's the whole thing of Black Panther. It's a really hard, delicate situation, because if Black Panther really didn't hit hard and people didn't like the movie, people didn't like Chadwick, it'll be one thing. But that movie is basically universally acclaimed across not only the MCU, but also against Black culture. Yeah. So it's a hard needle to thread. It's a hard needle to thread.
Now, Open Mind said if if Letitia Wright doesn't want to do that, then they should just leave Black Panther alone, because he doesn't want a replacement Black Panther. And I guess it's tough, man.
It's hard.
I see what you're saying, Open. I see what you're saying, because on one hand, I don't want anybody to try to recast it, because then you're also putting that person in a crazy position. Like, even more so than Shuri taking the mantle on, this is someone like, I'm supposed to be him. Like, you know, that's a whole nother.
And also, there's very few people that could act if they did decide to go to recast. And this is why I'm like, I haven't entered any conversations on social media or like brought it up, because whatever we want, whatever Marvel does is going to be the wrong answer in a lot of people's minds, because some people are going to be like, it's like it's an unwinnable. It's pretty much the Kobayashi Maru of all decisions. It's basically an unwinnable scenario.
The only way they can win is if they write it in a way where Shuri takes the mantle. But still, we have to deal with. All right, Open said, or they could go the alternate route and make Killmonger BP. I have thought about that, but he was pretty. Well, of course, it's comics, and we ain't never seen a body, so we don't know if he's dead. But you know, it was pretty well established that he's dead. So the only thing is, say Shuri takes the mantle, right? What are we going to do to explain how she got the mantle? Are we just going to tell some story like, oh yeah, you know, Black Panther went on this mission and he died. Sorry, you didn't see it on camera, and now I'm how do even that's tough to handle.
I think the only way if they do go the Shuri route of bringing in, I know we weren't going to talk about this, but now that we are. If they do the Shuri right, they're going to basically have to deconstruct what they had for Black Panther 2. And then I think the only way, I think one of the few ways in is to recast it, if not recast it, but have her come in and be the Black Panther. And we know that, okay, that they probably get a stand-in to, you know, who portrays Black Panther in the Black Panther costume in a flashback scene. But we know it's not Chadwick, but it's like, that's the way to go. And we see him get killed on screen in the way that to establish it in the MCU. But also the way to do it is you get someone like Namor or Doom to kill Black Panther, to kill to kill T'Challa. And I think that's the way in, because then it gives the character a motivation to want to be Black Panther, and the way to actually want to avenge her brother's death, and also not only her brother, but also her father by extension, and her grandfather, because it's a legacy. So
and
dealing it with the whole king, with the people who are like, you have Doom as the king of the leader of Liberia, and then you have Namor, who's the king of Atlantis. So I think rooting in royalty is the way to go. That's one of the few ways I can see it happening.
Let's see. Real Mano says MCU does have an out. T'Challa was out of power for 5 years after the snap. No, he was completely gone. He was snapped
gone.
He was snapped away. Now he does say maybe the next film could start with T'Challa chose not to return. Now I can roll with that. Like, he gets snapped away. When he comes back, he fights Endgame, and then there's like a short, maybe 10, 15 minute, kind of like series of scenes where he decides like, I did this. It's crazy. I want to go on and live my life with Lupita or something like that.
Not yet. I know what you mean.
You know what I mean. I don't know.
See,
that is going to be. I mean, I guess you could do that. That's a route. Resurrecting, Killmonger is a route.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. It's a
unless they went the multiverse route, but then, like, let's be honest. First of all,
when they did the snap to bring everything back, however way timing or weird messing with time and stuff, Killmonger actually wasn't all full dead.
Way, but
wasn't full.
I mean, I think while him wanting to go and not be Black Panther could work, would T'Challa do that? Because T'Challa is not the kind of guy to abdicate responsibility. So
yeah, you're right.
So it's hard, and also, we know that Ryan Coogler knows this character really well. So whatever Ryan Coogler wants to do is going to be the way out, obviously. But also,
because I see the route for Shuri. It's just getting the mantle to her when we don't have Chadwick. Maybe we could have a whoever his body double was in the suit the whole time, in a crazy action sequence at the beginning of Black Panther 2 with, like you said, Doom and Namor, one against both of them, maybe him and Okoye, and, they're going at it, and, they take him down, and it's like, we never have to see his face. Maybe?
I mean, and the way they could do that is why there's no audio. The way that they approach Bruce Banner's backstory in the beginning of the Incredible Hulk in the intro credits, where you saw what happened. That's the way if they go that route, that's the way to do it. Where you don't have any audio, but you clearly see what's happening on screen play out.
Yeah,
and you get it. So by the time they come in, you know what's going to happen, and then you come in to Shuri, and Shuri is a completely different character than we've seen in Black Panther and Infinity War and Endgame. So it's kind of like,
and then you have a very compelling story with Shuri having to figure out what she wants to be and the leader she wants to be, because of course, up until now, Shuri's been able to be like the fun tech wizard,
right?
And with now having how to handle the throne. Is she losing herself to the throne? Or is this just, so there are some interesting story threads to do with Shuri. It's just how do we get it to her, especially without Chadwick. But before we bounce, I did want to touch on.
Well, we got to talk about Sam Jack.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was going to get on your boy Nick. Nick. Variety reports Samuel L. Jackson to play Nick Fury in new Marvel Disney Plus series. Exclusive, that is. I mean, they could have gave it to NERDSoul, but I mean, hey, whatever. Samuel L. Jackson is set to reprise the role of Nick Fury in a new Marvel series currently in development at Disney Plus. The exact plot details of the show are being kept under wraps, but multiple sources say Jackson is attached to star with Kyle Bradstreet, who's attached to write and executive produce. Like all other Marvel shows at Disney Plus, Marvel Studios will produce the whole thing.
Yep.
Famously portrayed Fury through all this. You know what I'm saying? He was dead for fake. Then he came back. Then he got snapped away. Then he came back. You can't stop him. You can't kill this man.
No.
If we're going to do a TV show with Nick Fury, I know we don't. Oh no, hold up. I think we do have all the characters. All right, flow with me because we got some people. We got some people watching. We got some folks up in the chat. Flow with me for a second. Season 1 and season 2 is one big long arc because I'm pretty sure they're going to be short seasons, like 8 episodes or something like that. Well,
shorter than that, no one.
We don't know.
No one said Jackson, probably 6.
Yeah, well, probably. So season 1 and 2 are one big long story arc of Original Sin. Original Sin is a really good comic book storyline. I mean, of course, you'll adapt it for TV. You'll change a couple things, but it's really dope. It's this dope storyline about basically everything Nick Fury has had to give up to make sure the Earth was safe. And it's super killer. Winter Soldier's in it. Wolverine's in it. Pretty much the Avengers in general are in it. But yeah, we got all the characters. The only one we don't have is Spider-Man, and I don't think is Spider-Man in Original Sin. Check me and let me know. I don't think Spider-Man is in Original Sin. But
See, I didn't
Original
read
Sin
that.
is a cool storyline, and Sam Jack in one of the episodes let him get like a half of a and then cut the screen. Be like and just like cut it out. But yeah, I'd like to see that. If you know what I'm saying, if you know the Marvel gods so bless us, that's what I'd like to see. That could be cool. Tie a little bit of the space stuff with the earthly stuff. That could be cool.
I think there's 2 ways you do it. Personally, for me, either the series follows the events after Winter Soldier, where Shield is no longer in, and it follows that storyline, and it ties back in with Falcon and Winter Soldier. One way.
All right.
Other way is Sword, because if they're going cosmic, the one way to do that and to link back to Captain Marvel, which we established earlier that they have a good relationship, you'll bring in Sword into it. Because then they have to cast a brand. They have to do all that stuff.
Sword.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they didn't really name it, but it seemed like it was Sword.
I mean, and knowing Fury at the point of the MCU that we are now, he's the only person that could run Sword. He's the only person that could do it.
Yeah, Maria Hill, I don't think has it.
No.
To be able to.
She's more like Shield. She needs to say Shield.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, that's where I'm at on the Nick Fury show. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I want to see him. I want to see him in more living rooms in the dark when people get home.
Come on now. You said this man said I want to see him in the dark.
Didn't you see me call you? When I call you, you pick up, right? If you don't pick up, I'm gonna shoot you and your friend. Tranquilizer dose, of course.
So the real Mano said in the chat, I wonder if any of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters will pop in the Fury show. I would love that.
I would love that. Coulson is kind of a given, maybe.
Coulson's dead.
No, Coulson's well, I mean, it's the robot Coulson.
LMD, but like,
he's Coulson enough.
Coulson enough, but like, would that happen? I think Coulson is the only person that Feige would allow in out of any of the characters, because it's like, because the thing is, I hate fan casting and dreaming up a show, but I know it'll never happen because Feige is so, I don't want to say controlling, but he has a definite vision on interacting with anything that Jeff Loeb did. So
yeah, and it was
even
pretty.
like
I don't know if I say it was pretty separate, but it was pretty separate.
and they
tried to make sure y'all knew like we don't know
those
them
later seasons, and even the Netflix Marvel shows, as much and like Feige helped.
They tried to tie their joint to Thanos
Marvel
and stuff. It was like
Marvel Studios actually helped with the Daredevil suit design back in the day.
Yeah.
So it was there, but now it's gone. So but he's really intent. Like the rumor is that he's gonna recast Mockingbird for the Hawkeye show. And recast Madam Mask, because Madam Mask was an Agent Carter, which he was a producer on, I think. So that's what the rumor is. So like, if there's any Agents of Shield characters that comes in, it's Coulson. But even then, how do you bridge the fact of Coulson's now an LMD to Fury if it stays present day? That's hard because also would Clark want to come back after being the only other person who's been in the MCU that long was Downey.
Yeah.
So it's like
he might be. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's the only person. Everybody else from that first year is gone, except Pepper. But I mean, she doesn't really count until they drop this A4 series. Look, drop the A4 series.
We'll see. We'll see what they do with that, because
you know what I'm saying.
I mean,
drop that A4 series, a hot 4 episode miniseries of them doing some crazy mission, and it's just super action, full speed ahead, and mad people take L's. Maybe we lose one or two of the A-Force people. I don't know, or maybe they're badly injured where we don't know what's going to happen, and then fade to black, and then you never know what's going to happen until maybe a year later when we do another one.
I also think the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. question is more relevant towards the Miss Marvel show because of
because of
Quake.
Inhumans.
Because of the Inhumans.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole nother thing that because if they because
Sky.
How do you feel
about Sky? Do you feel like she's kind of run her course? Or do you feel more like, all right, there's still way more character development and more, I guess, just general fun to have with her character?
I think there's more fun
I'm kind of on and off a little bit. And what's up to Jenna James? What up?
I mean, in the way that, and I didn't have a problem with the way that she was implemented in the S.H.I.E.L.D. show, because she was obviously one of the leads because her relationship with Coulson. But
yeah,
I think that there's more you can do there, because the one thing, they exhausted the whole Inhuman thing over the season 2 to season 4. They kind of exhausted that, but now that they're bringing new life into it with Inhumans in MCU proper is what I'll call it. I think you can do a lot more stuff with the character, especially if they do what they do in Marvel Rising, where Quake is the leader of the team. They're like the overall leader of the team. That's another way in, because now Quake is a leader. So, but I agree with Jenna James. She says, I highly doubt Feige will bring anybody from AOS to Disney Plus shows, from what I'm hearing. If we're lucky, we get close to that, maybe May, but everyone else I don't see happening. And and that's the thing. If the thing is, it goes all the way back to.
I agree.
It goes back to Civil War. If Ike Perlmutter never did what he did, that's
Jenna,
the thing.
You foul.
No.
She said Feige don't want no parts of them Jeff Lowe people. None of them Lowe Marvel folks.
No, and she's right, because we saw what happened. It's messed up
because Jeff is so whack that he done screwed it up for all the actors. That's how whack he is. Jeff done screwed it up for all the actors.
It's not just Jeff; it's Ike. The other thing, it's Ike.
Oh yeah, but he been gone
because all of this whole. He's still chairman. He's still chairman. He's still involved. He's still running. He's still involved in Marvel, but he's not running the TV stuff anymore. That's under Feige.
Yeah, and he has no power over Kevin Feige anymore.
But all this goes back to Civil War. Yeah, we have Ike to blame for splitting that up and basically thrashing Marvel as we know it, at least, you know, TV and film. Because beforehand, Agent Carter, we had Agent Carter.
Yeah.
Shield became a TV
was really
show.
Good.
Right. And Feige was a producer on Agent Carter with Loeb. So it's like we had all that going back. They helped the VizDead team. They helped when it was just Charlie Wynn and Ryan Meiderding. Ryan Meiderding, I think, did some designs on the Super Daredevil. So like they were in the position to do all of this, to set up, like, have it be like how the fans want. But now because of that split when Civil War's in production is why we have things the way we do right now. And the same thing, it's like,
good point.
It's like we have to see who they hold over, because now also at the end of the year, now they're going to get rights all the way back to all of the Netflix characters.
Yeah, and
so
Jenna James said, as much as I love Bernthal's Punisher, Vincent's Kingpin, Cox's Daredevil, they may be the only holdovers, if Feige brings any of them over from Marvel. From Netflix to Marvel. Yeah, but at the same time, I guess to a certain degree, Netflix did have its run, and I felt like everything closed well, where we're not left hanging on anyone. So I guess that's a good thing too. So
yeah, for the most part, except for
2
Iron
episodes
Fist
in a row, Marvel talk, man. We just been up in here Marvel talking.
Yeah.
You know
No, my bad. But like, I have thought.
No, it's not your bad. I'm down with Marvel. I'm cool.
I'm like,
look, if it's good, I'll watch it. I don't care. Unless I fall off because there's too much stuff going on.
I mean,
that
happens all the time, right?
Except for Lovecraft. We ain't falling off on that. Nah, bruh. Nah. So, with that said, guys, we're about to wrap up. We are out of here. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that was in the chat and watch it.
Wait. Oh, yeah. No, wait. We didn't discuss Hawkman. Hawkman casting.
Since it wasn't Marvel, I didn't include it. But I mean,
I forgot about it. But but because it happened way.
I'm down with it because Homie was my original pick way back to be Black Panther. Aldous Hodge, I've been a fan of ever since Leverage. So he's my homie.
Bruh. Thank you for Jenna James for pointing that out. But like, bruh, we have a Black Hawkman, dude. Like, and Aldous Hodge, dude, he like Leverage. Like, if you do not, if you have not watched Leverage,
is a great passive watching show. Like, it's.
I mean, it is. It's like
it's silly at times, but it's fun to watch.
But it's silly, but like, dude, the relationship between Parker and Hardison, which is Aldous Hodge's character, but like even like Elliot, bro, like the pick is so good that I'm like, I need to be seeing this movie tomorrow. I need to see this movie tomorrow. Like,
especially if we do some Afrofuturist stuff with it, like that'll be cool. Because I mean, they are Thanagarians. They're further evolved from Earth.
They're Egyptian. They're Egyptian.
Got the Egyptian stuff, and now it's not going to look whack with a white dude somehow being like the prince of the Egyptians. We ain't gonna worry about that no more. We ain't gonna have that.
Right. But I'm excited because
there's an episode of Leverage where he is going undercover with like this college frat squad or whatever. And the frat guys, the top guys, the brothers, whatever, make them run outside in nothing but their shorts. And I was like, yo, I didn't know he was ripped like that. I was like, yo, he should be Black Panther. This is before Chadwick Boseman and everything. I was like, yo, I didn't know homie was ripped like that. I was like, yo, he need to be Black Panther. Also, if I was ripped like that, every episode shirt off for no reason. I'd be like, let me change my shirt, y'all. Time for me to change my shirt.
You a fool. That's why I don't
be dogging. Like, people be mad at, like, they be like, oh, look at these women online showing all that. I be like, yo, bruh, look, trust me. If I was rolling around here like Michael Jai White, bro, my IG would be a lot more spicy.
See, and back in the day,
I mean, geek stuff would still be on there, but every now and then you get a little bit of ab in there. You know, not a full abs,
right.
just a little baby, just a little.
See, and there was only 3 people that I had centered for Black Panther back in the day. It was Aldis, Nate Parker before all the stuff that happened with his movie, before all that stuff, and Chadwick. And they got the best person for it. They got Chadwick. But now Aldis finally gets a shot because, dude, he's been rolling for a minute, dude. He was underground, like James said. Like, he was an Invisible Man. And, like, I've been hip to all this.
I'm going to try to watch that tonight, like, Invisible Man. I'm going to try to watch that tonight because it's on HBO Max. So I'm going to try to watch that tonight. Yeah, it's on HBO Max.
Oh, bruh. I'm about to watch that then. I just got this brand new computer.
As NERDSoul Light says, Omo Max. So...
Omo Max. That's cute. Omo Max. What do we call that? Yo, Omo Max. The next Lovecraft will call it Omo Max. There you go. That's dope. You got new branding. You got new branding, HBO. Yep. No, I'm kidding.
Brand new, straight for y'all. HBO, you can have that. Nah.
But now, Warner Brothers, you can have that because now you got Hawkman. You got a Black Hawkman. But bro, dude, all this and The Rock fighting on screen.
That's gonna be straight dope.
I got nerd tears. What I'm gonna call this episode called Nerd Tears, not Nerd Soul.
Yeah, it's like, look, man, because we have gotten some really dope news as of late, in front and behind the camera. So that's good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's we got some good stuff to get everything going once, of course, the cloud of COVID-19 is lifted. With that said, guys, we are ending this show, but if you stick around at 8 o'clock, we will be talking about the presidential debate if you're interested at all. I'll have some folks with me.
You're better than me.
If you like, nah, bro, I'm cool, then I understand. But if you like, yo, words, it's going to pop back in about 15 minutes or so, we will be here chilling with y'all. But to the chat, Daryl Bolden, Open Mind, Jenna James, The Real Manos, VV, Hitflix, who else rolled through here? Prajwal? I hope I didn't screw up your name, but thank you for coming through, y'all. Right over here, you know him, you love him. Look, hey, what can I say? Author, poet, philanthropist, Clement Bryant.
You got all the right, but except for philanthropist, because no, I donate to charity. Okay, no, I'm just kidding around. Don't be putting words in my mouth, bro. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I know I'm crazy. It's been a day. At Twitter, Instagram, Clement Bryant. Follow me. We talk.
What up? Holla at him. And then, of course, NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Everywhere in them streets. YouTube is the hub. Hit that like if you like what you see. Hit that thumbs down if you don't. If you hit that thumbs down, say Hawkman after you. You ain't gonna like that because he's gonna hit you with, what is it? The nth metal just pop right upside your head. You ain't gonna like. So podcast to get your listen on. And of course, Spotify for that music. We thank y'all for rolling through. If y'all want that presidential debate talk, you know what I'm saying? If they ain't gonna get you down and depressed, stick around. If not, hey, I'll see y'all later. So from us to you, we're going to leave y'all with ARCKATRON. That's right. The Space Bridging stores. Go stream it. Go buy it. Run them numbers up. From us to you, we're just saying peace. 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 We out, y'all.
Later.
Yeah. What?